What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks to the team over at ThreeZero. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at ThreeZero's Transformers Bumblebee Premium Scale Collectible Bumblebee. This is ThreeZero's more premium scale, so this figure is substantially taller and more detailed than their previously released DLX Bumblebee. But before we take a look at the figure, we'll first off take a look at the fantastic artwork that is present on the front of the packaging. You can see we've got a really cool image of Bumblebee in his robot mode with the actual silhouette of Bumblebee's head sculpt. We've got the Transformers Bumblebee logo, premium scale collectible figure, ThreeZero, and the official authentic Transformers logo. If we turn the packaging around to the side, we've got an actual image of the product itself. So this is a rather grainy image of Bumblebee, Transformers Bumblebee, and I love the rust effect that they've got throughout the packaging as well. For the back of the packaging, we have the premium scale collectible figure logo with the Autobot insignia, the ThreeZero logo, this is not a toy, and we also have the formerly known 3A sticker at the top with the ThreeZero text behind it. We turn around once more, we also have another image of Bumblebee himself with various different warnings and hazards. So without further ado, let's open up this figure and take a look at the figure himself. Now, before I begin covering the accessories as well as the main figure himself, I'm first of all going to give you a very quick rundown of the exceptionally detailed instruction manual that this figure will in fact include. Now, I highly recommend that you read the instructions before you begin playing around with this collectible, especially if you have never purchased a 3A/ThreeZero product in the past. There are some pieces that you definitely have to be cautious of, as if you apply too much pressure to certain areas or bend something that isn't necessarily supposed to be bent, you could perhaps break it, and seeing as how expensive these figures are, I highly recommend giving this instruction manual a brief read through. So you can see here that it showcases how you can exchange some of the heads, the batteries that he will need in order to operate the LED function. It also showcases you how you can in fact utilize the LED function and gives you various warnings as to not to look directly into the actual eye light. We can see here that it also showcases you how you can actually attach the different eyebrow attachments that this figure comes with, which is a really cool feature which I will be showing in this review. It also does give you a quick rundown of the articulation. So once again, I highly recommend that you check this out before actually playing around with the figure. And then as we open it, you just get even more detailed instructions of how to actually operate the figure. So the various different waist joints, how to actually exchange and activate the LEDs in the front headlights. It also showcases how you can swap out some of the other elements such as the door wings. And here it shows you how you can in fact swap out the arm cannon as well as other areas of the figure. And then the back gives you a rundown of the entire articulation of the feet as well as the whole leg assembly. Taking a quick look and having a quick rundown at some of the accessories that he comes with, we'll first of all start off with the largest of the accessories, that being Bumblebee's signature arm cannon that we see him use throughout the movie. This has been recreated perfectly here by ThreeZero. You can see all of the tremendous detail, such as the faded weathered effect towards the top of the barrel. The paint applications really do excel ThreeZero's pieces in making them one of the best companies that produce premium collectibles. You can see that all of Bumblebee's fingers do in fact wrap around the cannon, which is a detail that perhaps you may have in fact missed in the movie. It isn't until you actually own one of these pieces in hand that you can truly see how much detail they pack into these figures. All of the weathered effect here towards the edge of where Bumblebee's armor would be. You can see all of the silver here looks incredibly weathered and really realistic. Just an absolutely fantastic looking piece, truly something to behold in person. And you can see the front of the barrel has got loads of sculpting and detailing here. This piece just looks absolutely tremendous. It does, of course, have an LED feature. So in order to activate this, you just want to separate it. It is held on via these clips. It is actually quite easy to insert and detach if you wish to activate the LED function. Here you can see two of the AG13 batteries that this figure will require. And in order to activate the LED function, you just simply flick this switch here. And then we want to just port this back in. And there you'll have Bumblebee's Stinger Blaster illuminated in a super nice red colour scheme. Once again, I'll showcase this more when we actually take a look at the figure and how it looks on the figure, but definitely a superb looking piece here. And then obviously to turn it off, you do repeat the exact same process. So just flick this switch off and port that back on. Taking a look here at the Stinger Blade, this is actually a brand new accessory. We never got this with the DLX version of Bumblebee. So for fans who have also got the DLX version, you are getting a different accessory here. This is super cool and looks exactly how it did in the movie when we saw Bumblebee use it in order to take down Blitzwing. And of course, when he was slicing trees in order to evade Sector 7. But you can see the fantastic mechanical detailing here for where the arm has transformed and extended and the blade here is shot out. You've got some fantastic Cybertronian details here on both sides, may I add as well. So they really haven't skimped out on any of the details on this piece. And we've got this super nice rigid effect and a very, very sharp point here for the blade. We also do get 3 different eyebrow attachments. Now in total he comes with 4, as he does in fact include one when you do open him out the packaging. I'll show these off more when we actually take a look at the main head sculpt. Here we get the prong that we see him use when he's inspecting the electrical appliances. This is actually the device that he uses to stick into the plug socket, so that is a super nice attention to detail. And you can once again see for such a small piece the detail and the paint apps that they've packed into this truly is remarkable. But once again, I'll show you how that incorporates into robot mode later on. We do get an interchangeable head sculpt, this being my preferred look for the movie Bumblebee. You can see that this is the battle mask, and we've got almost this honeycomb effect here for the visor. I just really like the very elegant and aggressive look to the design of this, and the really pointy ears, which are in fact articulated, so if you wanted to, you could compress them back for a more circular look, or for a more movie accurate look, have them extended, which I just think looks truly, truly remarkable. Some exquisite paint detailing here as well on the back of the head. All of the different copper and darker tones to the sculpt really look amazing. You've got some of that damaged effect to the head. And of course he too has an LED feature, so I'll just show you how the batteries are installed. You just want to grab it at the front of the Autobot insignia and then at the back. You don't want to just yank it off, as you will snap some of the structural components. The instructions do detail that in great detail, so once again definitely check them out before handling this. But you simply just remove this cap here and you can see 2 AG13 batteries do store within this head sculpt. And to peg this on, it's very, very simple. You just align it up and snap it into place. Now you saw here, if you push the Autobot insignia once, the eyes will illuminate a really nice blue color. However, if you actually push it a second time, we get Bumblebee's retaliation mode, which I think looks amazing, where the eyes are illuminated in a super nice red color scheme. I loved this scene in the movie, and I'm so grateful to ThreeZero that they did in fact incorporate this into this figure, as I just think that it's super, super cool, and was once again a feature which was missing on the smaller DLX version. To turn the LED function off, you just simply push the Autobot insignia again, and the LED function will switch off. We also do get different options for the door wings of Bumblebee. So here we get a pair of more movie accurate door wings. These are of course the more compressed versions which we saw throughout the film. So these are super detailed. And once again, I'll show you how these incorporate onto the figure later on. And then we also get more concept art versions of the door wings, something which was of course included on the DLX version. These are the more traditional Michael Bay door wings for Bumblebee. I actually prefer these, if I'm being honest, despite them not being so accurate to the movie. But you can see here, even the detailing on these is just absolutely remarkable. You've got all of the scuffs and the rust effect, which looks fantastic. You've got all the dirtied windows. The paint apps here for the door handles looks fantastic. All of the cog and piston detailing here as well. Super, super cool. And you've even got some amazing detailing of the actual interior of the VW Bug. Just a fantastic looking piece. ThreeZero really do go above and beyond with their premium figures. I've been collecting them now ever since they debuted with their Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, and haven't been disappointed with a release so far. So with the accessories more or less wrapped up, let's take a look at the main figure himself. And here we have the truly remarkable ThreeZero premium scale collectible Bumblebee, and doesn't he just look like he's leapt straight off of the screen. This figure is a remarkable representation of how Bumblebee appeared in his own solo movie. This is by far the best Bumblebee that we have gotten from that movie. The DLX version was fantastic, but this one truly does take what that figure accomplished and improves upon it in so many ways. This figure is double the height, double the detail, and of course double the price, but I think that it is definitely worth it. This is a fantastic looking version of Bumblebee. There are no areas of this figure whatsoever where I think that ThreeZero perhaps left out some details. Everything you see on this figure is identical to the on-screen CGI model. This really is amazing, and if you are into high-end premium collectibles, you are going to want to have this figure in your collection. I was a huge fan of Bumblebee's redesign within this movie, and I'm so grateful to have one of the best representations of this figure. Now, before I begin taking a look at some of the intricate detailings of the actual figure himself, we're going to actually take a look at how you can add some of the door wings in order to complete Bumblebee's look. So to begin with, on the back of Bumblebee, you can see these two posts here that do in fact stick out from the sculpt. I'm going to be showing you first of all how you can add some of the larger door wings. So on these pieces here, which do in fact come separate, you will have to attach this section here to this piece when you open it out of the packaging. I'm not going to remove it as it is a ball joint and I do not want to risk breaking this, but it is very self-explanatory upon opening this figure out of the packaging. You can see that we have an L sign for, of course, the left side, and you can see here two different posts. So essentially what you want to do is just get this and align this up and port this into Bumblebee's back, and there you have it. It is really secure and super simple to exchange and interchange with some of the other door wings that he comes with. Of course, repeat the exact same process here for this side. So just port this one in, give it a firm squeeze so that you can solidify the connection, angle these in whatever way you want, and then just spinning Bumblebee around. You can see here that he has the more concept art look, or the more traditional Michael Bay design look with the door wings sticking out from the sides. Once again, this is my preferred look for Bumblebee. I just think this is super, super cool, and the detailing looks fantastic. I cannot express enough how much detail ThreeZero pack into their figures. Even from the back, this looks remarkable. In terms of articulation, as we are going to detach these, I thought I'd give this a rundown now. They are on ball joints, so they are able to be lowered all the way down. So if you do wish to keep the larger door wings and have them in a more movie accurate pose, you can definitely do that and definitely achieve that here. They can, of course, be risen all the way up for a more Michael Bay look, or they can be angled in and out ever so slightly, so you can, in fact, move them to your so desire. Now, if I just push this back in as it came untabbed, the way you wish to detach those, you actually have to do it in a very specific way. So if I just show you here, the instructions say to take this piece first and gently push this out. I wouldn't recommend just ripping the whole door wing off, as you don't potentially want to break the ball joints, and you can see here that by utilizing that method, they exchange incredibly easy. So you just want to repeat the same process here for this side. So just pop that off, and then we can bring in now the more movie accurate versions. And once again, it's the exact same method and procedure. So just stick that under there and give that tab into place. And then repeat the same process here for this side. Just tab that into place. There you have Bumblebee with his more movie accurate looking door wings, and even these look truly remarkable on this figure. However, you can see that it obviously doesn't give him the illusion or the Michael Bay design with the door wings up. Now, starting off with details, of course, we'll start from the top, so we'll take a look at Bumblebee's head sculpt. You can once again see that, as I stated earlier on, this figure is just so movie accurate from every single angle. ThreeZero have got the paint applications down to a T. This really does look amazing. You can see at the top of where his eyebrow would begin, we do have some rust and battle damage, where of course the yellow paint from his VW Bug alt form has in fact become damaged. We've got a super nice Autobot insignia, which has been given a really nice weathered wash, and these silver stripes going throughout the head design. I really do quite like the design of Bumblebee's head as well. And then you can see when we turn around here, all of the different rust details, and even on the back of the head, which is actually quite reminiscent to that of the original trilogy Michael Bay movies. You can see that we do have this small circular section here at the back and a different variety of paint apps. And even the backs of these antennae pieces too have been painted. So they really have got you covered from all angles on this figure. It does look remarkable. Now, in terms of articulation, these sections here can hinge up and down, so you can have them completely flattened to give him more of a smooth look, or of course for a more movie accurate look you can of course extend them. We do have a ball joint here, so you can rotate the head all the way around, which is a great degree of motion. So you can get it looking up, you can get it looking down, it can tilt side to side as well as rotate. We also do get a neck joint here, which can in fact be used as well as using the head joint. So that just allows for a more exaggerated range of motion. And that too also does rotate. However, it is rather stiff. You kind of have to use your fingers to actually move that around. In terms of LED features, as you probably just saw, if you push the head once, you do get the eyes illuminated blue. And you can even see within the actual eyes, there's this rigid detailing to just give you this sense that there is so much detailing actually in the internals of Bumblebee, which I once again think just looks so realistic. And then of course pushing it a second time will give you the red retaliation mode of Bumblebee. This actually looks super cool when you add some of the additional eyebrow pieces on. but just a fantastic looking figure. You can even see the mouthpiece has been detailed so well, and then pushing it again turns off the LED function. Now, in order to swap out some of the eyebrow pieces, you simply just want to remove the top half of the head. This is of course how you access the batteries, but inside here, if I just bend this section down, there is a slight groove there. That's where you want to get your fingernail in and actually pull away from the figure. That will then detach the eyebrow, and then you can insert some of the other ones. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to look on the figure. I do believe that this is the sad expression. So we'll pop the helmet back on and just pushing that in there. I think that looks so cool. It just creates a completely different display option. You can see it really does change the look of the figure. It makes so much emotion, which of course we saw in the film. Bumblebee had an enormous amount of expressions within that movie, so it's great to see ThreeZero carry that over here for their premium collectible. And this is actually the first time ThreeZero have ever done this for their premium scale figures. So with each of their releases, they are in fact introducing something new, which I think looks super cool. Once again, removing it is very simplistic to do. And then we'll bring in this piece here. Now, this is the angry face. This here is, of course, the one that you're going to want to use the red LED feature for. But even for the blue eyes, you can tell that he's definitely not happy with what's going on. And then when you activate that red LED function, he truly doesn't look like you would want to mess with him at all. A fantastic looking display option. Truly remarkable. And then just popping this section off. And we'll go to the final one that he comes with, which I think is a squinting face. Just plug that on there and revert back to the blue eyes. You can see that this one also looks as if though he's quite sad. It doesn't look as sad as the previous expression. It just looks as perhaps he's looking down and is rather puzzled about what he's seeing. But that too can also create for some super nice poses on the shelf or in terms of a photography display. Really remarkable. So in terms of that feature and the overall look of the head sculpt, I could not be happier with it at all. And then of course he comes with an additional head sculpt. So in order to showcase that, you simply just want to grab the head and pop it off. It is on a ball joint. I recommend grabbing onto this section of the torso and pulling away. Don't put pressure on any of the other pieces, as you may unfortunately break them. Bring in the alternate battle mask head sculpt and just snap that into place. And I just think that looks so cool. This is definitely my preferred look for Bumblebee. And you can see the same weathering detailing here for the battle mask. And we have the same function where you push it and you get the blue LEDs. And then you push it again and you get the retaliation red LEDs. Just a super cool touch. Turning our attention now down to the torso area, you can see here that even for where his collarbones would be, we've got some amazing detailing, all of the different hydraulics and all of the different wiring that seeps actually into the chest. I think that looks amazing. And you can see once again the incredible paintwork. These sections here, the front bumper of the vehicle mode, look remarkable with the really nice rust and weathered effect going on here. And I think that these headlights look so realistic. You honestly wouldn't believe that the majority of this figure is made up out of plastic. It looks really cool. You've got the front bumper section there, which looks super nice. These are on double ball joints, so you can maneuver these literally in whatever way you so choose in order to utilize some of the other joints. So you can have them closer into the chest, push them out, or pull them around however you want. But these also do have an LED feature. So to showcase that, you just want to pop one of these off. Now, you don't actually have to pop the entire thing off in order to activate the LEDs, and I will showcase that. I just wanted to show you how the batteries do install. So you will have to pop one off in order to install the batteries. Once again, each of these do take 2 AG13 batteries, and you can even see inside here we've got some super cool details. And there is the switch. So you just want to flick this switch down. It's very small, and you can see that you will illuminate one of his headlights, and then just aligning the ball joint up appropriately, we just want to pop this back in, and then that goes in there. Super cool. And then to show you how you can in fact achieve this without popping this off at all, at least I am able to, you just want to get your finger in there, slide that down, and you've activated both of Bumblebee's headlights. So this is super cool, and was once again something that was missing on the DLX version, but I'm so glad that they incorporated it on this version, as when you have the actual headlights and the LED lights for the head lit up, he looks really amazing. Taking a look here at some of the armpit detailing, once again, truly remarkable. You can see all of the pistons and the hydraulics in there with the super nice copper paint going around it. The weathering effect once again is apparent, and here we do in fact have a butterfly joint allowing you to move the arms forwards and backwards. This section here is on a ratchet joint, so you can ratchet that forwards and backwards as well as hinge it out to the sides. This shoulder pad here, which is exceptionally detailed, even down to the small wiring detailing that you can see here. This too is articulated. So for dynamic poses, I would recommend pulling this down, and it is on a ball joint, so it can move out of anything that may obstruct it. And then to put it in a more natural position, you just compress it like that. If we quickly turn around to the back, so taking a look at the spine, these wheels here can spin both sides. They're not on ball joints, they're just on these swivel joints. But you can see the spinal detailing here, which looks incredible. It almost matches the level of their DLX Optimus Prime, that much detailing in the spine, and the really nice weathering effect on the doors. So that all looks super cool. If we come back around now and take a look at the arm in more detail, you can just see all of this looks remarkable. The different copper and silver paint. Some of the pieces on the figure are made out of a more squishier type of plastic, obviously to evade you from actually breaking pieces, which I think is awesome. As when you are moving this figure around, pieces like this that do slightly jut out to the sides could potentially be a breaking hazard. So to see that they are made out of a slightly more softer, pliable material really gives me confidence when handling this figure, as I don't think I'm going to break it, and I don't have to be too cautious about all of the other different elements that this figure may present. But you can see in the arms, loads of detailing in there, which looks super, super cool. The hands too look really, really nice with that rusty effect on them. And the fingers too all look amazing. In terms of articulation here, so you saw the main range for the upper section of the arm, but we also get a 360 rotation here for the top of the bicep. The arm is articulated incredibly well. So if I just rotate this here, you can see that you can bend all of these joints. So it's almost like a triple joint. We have one here, and then one here. And then of course you could utilize all of these to pull it outwards. This whole section here can rotate, so you can rotate this the full 360 degrees. And then for the hands are actually on ball joints, so they can swivel all the way around, and it is a ball joint there and a hinge joint here, so you can hinge the hand and use that ball joint, allowing for a great range of motion. All of the fingers are of course individually articulated, with the thumb being on a ball joint and then a hinge joint. You can ball joint all of the different fingers around on their own joints, and then we also get two hinge joints, one at the base and then one at the knuckle, allowing for a wide variety of different posing options. So great to see the articulated fingers in this premium scale collectible line. Now turning down to the lower region and the mid-torso area of the figure, this too packs in some phenomenal details and even a really nice Easter egg from the movie. So you can see inside here, there once again is all of that internal mechanisms, all the hydraulics in there painted incredibly well. This really does look like a robot that has got car armor over the top of it. It looks absolutely superb. We've got all of these different gears here and this actual rubbery piece that would of course go around this section. All of the different tubings, which once again are made out of a slightly more pliable material to get out of the way of some of the leg articulation. But if you actually take this piece, which is truly detailed, and shoot this up, it does reveal the cassette player. Now this looks incredible. You can see all of the detail that they've packed into this little piece. You've got all of the different dials, the different buttons, and even the actual insertion holder as well, which looks incredible. Just a remarkable, remarkable looking piece. And then to pull it down is really easy. You just take both sides of this and it will clip into place rather firmly. In terms of articulation for this whole upper torso, you really do rely on this upper section more for the rotation than you do for this piece, but you can see that we do get a phenomenal ab crunch from the top joint, but then utilizing the second joint here, we also can take that even further, allowing you to crunch Bumblebee down in a considerably low position. Just showing you how that looks from the back, and then pulling that back up all the way, you can see that he can also arch backwards to a significant degree, and it just exposes more of the internal workings. We do also get a ball joint here, so you can hinge the figure from side to side, and that goes also for this piece, so you can really get some exaggerated movement out of this figure. And it does of course rotate. I haven't found this piece here to actually rotate, and the instructions don't mention this rotating, so I'm going to say that it doesn't. It's not to say that it doesn't rotate, it perhaps could do, but I just don't want to force it, seeing how expensive these pieces are. But overall, for upper torso articulation, you truly are able to get any poses you wish out of the upper torso range of motion. Showcasing now how you can utilize some of the additional accessories that he comes with in order to attach the arm blade. You want to grab at this piece and then at this piece and pull away from the body, and it comes off incredibly easily. And then you can see these two posts here, which of course tab into the side of the arm. So that looks super cool. And you can see that you can have Bumblebee's arm blade. You can in fact have it on either side. However, I think it's more accurate to have it on this side, especially if you have the arm cannon on this side. And then just to show you the actual finger movement, so just separating this piece off and then bringing this back on, you can open any of his fingers, so it doesn't just necessarily have to work on this one. However, once again, this is more accurate to the film. You can see a tiny circular post in there that will in fact peg into this port here. And then you can recreate the scene where Bumblebee inserts this into the plug socket. And I just think that that is so, so cool. And the level of detailing really does match the rest of the hand, which looks really, really nice. In order to swap out the arm for the arm cannon, it's very, very straightforward. You simply just want to swivel this piece off, taking your time whilst doing it, as you obviously don't want to break anything. And then just bring in the arm cannon here. You can see the huge port that will, of course, peg into the very robust peg. Just align this up and gently begin to swivel that into place. And there you've got Bumblebee's arm cannon, with Bumblebee looking really, really nice. And if you activate those retaliation eyes, he definitely doesn't look like a friendly Bumblebee anymore. Super, super cool. Moving down now to the lower region of the figure, this too is also amazingly detailed. So you can see all of the fantastic weathering effect here. You've got the rubbery tubes that I spoke about earlier on. And here we've got the small indicator lights on where the hip armor would be. And then as you turn around to the back, super nice weathering detailing. All of that detail actually inside the legs as well looks amazing. And you've got here the rear lights of the vehicle mode, which looks superb. And all of the weathering is definitely a lot more noticeable towards the base of the feet, as it really would be. And even in there, you've got all of the different cogs and hydraulics looking absolutely fantastic. Articulation as well is really well done. So in order to do that, you want to extend this piece, and this can rotate forwards and backwards depending on how you wish to pose him. And the legs can ratchet all the way up. I would recommend not going past this degree, as that's where I begin to feel some force. I do imagine it probably could kick out to a further degree, but for me, that is ideal. And then we can ratchet those all the way back as well. Once again, they could probably go even further back, but you can see that's a fantastic range of motion. He can do the splits to about that degree. We do get a rotation here for where the thigh is, and the knee mechanism for how you actually articulate that is incredible. You can see here that the hydraulics, check that out, that looks fantastic. All of this, and it's all made out of a die-cast material. This is one of the first premium scale collectibles to come out from 3A and 3Zero that has an internal die-cast frame, making this figure really weighty, a lot more weighty than some of the other figures. And I'll show you how that actually benefits this when we begin to take a look at some of the comparisons. But you can see that this section here recesses in to allow for that range of motion. And then when you push this back, the mechanism prongs this back out. I just think that's truly, truly exceptional. This piece here is on a ball joint, which means that when you're posing the foot around, it can literally move out of the way any way you so desire. The articulation here is as follows. So the foot can in fact hinge back and forth, and we do get an incredible ankle rocker joint, both forwards and backwards. So for running poses, this angle is fantastic. And for more dynamic action poses, this angle is amazing as well. And we do finally get some toe articulation. Now, that's not to say that I've covered all of the articulation. I do believe this has roughly 90 points of articulation, so I probably am definitely missing some, but those are just the main aspects for me. For a size comparison, here we have the premium scale 3Zero Bumblebee compared next to the DLX version of Bumblebee. Now, this isn't to take away anything from the DLX version, but the new premium scale is so much better than the DLX version, in my opinion. The 3A figures have always been massive centerpieces in my collection, and whilst I really do like the DLX figure, it's great to finally get a new premium scale figure, and you can truly tell the difference between the level of detail that they are able to put into a premium scale figure when you actually compare it to the DLX. Now, upon first glance, you may not be able to notice too many differences, but the articulation on this one is so much more evident than on this one. This one has really nice details that you couldn't perhaps incorporate into this version, such as the nice Easter egg of the cassette player, as well as many other features such as the interchangeable eyebrows, the alternate LED functions, as well as some more additional accessories. This premium scale version for me is by far the superior one out of the two, but once again, the DLX version truly is a fantastic figure in its own right. For another size comparison, here we have the new premium scale Bumblebee to what was the most recent premium scale figure, that being the Last Night premium scale Bumblebee. But you can definitely see when you compare two of the most accurate representations of their characters, how drastically different the Travis Knight design is compared next to the Michael Bay design. These ones were just so much more complex in terms of the design when compared to the more simpler design that we get here with the Bumblebee solo movie version. Not to take anything away from it, I think they both look incredible. But to go back to what I was speaking about earlier in regards to the die-cast frame, if you tap this figure, it literally will not go anywhere. But this one was super wobbly. And that's now because the die-cast really does weigh the figure down, specifically in the feet, meaning that when you pose this figure on a shelf, I honestly have no issues with this at all. I will never worry about this figure falling off the shelf, whereas with this one I do, seeing as how light and wobbly he could potentially be. So I'm definitely really liking the approach that ThreeZero are taking with these premium figures in including die-cast metal frames. For another size comparison, here we have two premium scale figures, this one being the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, and here is really where you can see how wobbly this figure was. Now, having the die-cast frame definitely weighs this one down, and I once again have no problems with posing this on the shelf, whereas this one I maybe would think twice about how I pose him. For another size comparison, here we have premium scale Bumblebee next to DLX Optimus Prime, the largest DLX figure that we currently have to date, and you can see that premium scale Bumblebee towers over that version of Optimus Prime. We just really need a premium scale version of the Bumblebee movie Optimus to go along with this fantastic piece. So that was my very in-depth and detailed review on the upcoming Transformers ThreeZero Premium Scale Collectible Bumblebee based on his appearance from the Bumblebee solo movie. If you haven't guessed already from this review, I am absolutely blown away by this newest release by ThreeZero. I have picked up every single premium scale figure by ThreeZero to date, and I've got to say that this one feels incredible. Definitely has some of the amazing paint detailing that we have seen on those previous figures, however with some brand new attributes that I definitely think are going to excel these figures even further in terms of a premium collectible. The die-cast metal frame once again adds a lot more weight, meaning that poses definitely feel a lot more solidified, and when you're actually handling this figure, you do not have to worry about plastic breaking or anything. This feels really robust, despite the level of detail that they have packed into this. Their paintwork for me is still one of the best on the market to date. This looks incredible. If you actually had this figure and didn't know it was an action figure, you wouldn't be mistaken for thinking that this was the actual CGI model. It's that well done. This is by far the best representation we have got for the Bumblebee solo movie Bumblebee design, and I have no problems in stating that. This figure is remarkable. The articulation is obscene, the detail amazing, just overall the amount of accessories he comes with. I cannot recommend this figure enough. I once again want to say a huge thank you to ThreeZero for sending me this advanced reviewer copy out to review. I'm so glad to add this figure to the collection and cannot wait to see what they're going to be doing next. I know that they've got a premium scale Blitzwing, and as of this recording they have just announced a premium scale Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and I think that that figure is going to be obscenely good. So once again, cannot wait to add them both to my collection. I really hope that you enjoyed my review. In terms of availability on this figure, he is sold out almost everywhere. However, where I can find him up for pre-order still, I will include the links down in the description box below. I really hope that you enjoyed my review, and be sure to let me know your thoughts and feelings on the figure down in the comment section below. And until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.